Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today is Monday, which means it's time for an episode of Loadout, the series where you guys, the viewers, get to pick a gun and customization for me to use. The way you do this is you leave a comment down below letting me know what kind of weapon and accessories you'd like me to run with, and I will pick one of the top rated comments for the next episode. Today's top comment comes from Mike Carpenter. He says, let's say you play the Recon class to its fullest potential. M40A5 with ACOG scope and straight pull bolt. Laser sight is optional. M1911 with suppressor as your sidearm. MAV is your gadget and specialization of your choice. Make heavy use of the spawn beacon and MAV to give you intel and spawn options near the objective. Use the power and speed of the M40A5 to dominate medium range engagements and take advantage of power and stealth of your sidearm to neutralize close quarter threats. And I'll admit, it's been a while since I've used any sort of bolt-action sniper rifle seriously, at least in a loadout. I've used them from time to time here and there, but sniping has never really been my forte in this game, so it takes a little while for me to warm up. The M40A5 is a great bolt-action rifle. It's got one of the fastest rates of fire for any of the bolt-action rifles out there, so you can line up your next target very quickly. The downside to the M40A5 is that its bullet velocity is not on the high end, so it's going to mean that long range targets are going to be harder to hit, especially if they're moving, and you'll see quite a few shots during this gameplay in which I'm missing moving targets at range. You really just have to find the right distance to lead for them. To give you guys some reference in just how slow the M40A5's bullets travel, the JNG 90 fires at 560 meters per second, while the M40A5 fires at 490 meters per second. The M98B fires at 650 meters per second, while the M40A5 fires at 490. Even the M16A3 fires at 650 meters per second compared to the M40A5's 490 meters per second. It's a very slow traveling shot, so just watch out for your moving targets. If they're moving, make sure that they're moving directly towards you, so you really don't have to do too much leading of any kind. Mike is absolutely right in that this bolt-action sniper rifle is best for medium range engagements. It's got that great rate of fire at 54 shots per minute, which I know sounds kind of low, but it's almost a shot a second if you think about it. Whereas other weapons like, say, the SV98 fire at 48 rounds per minute, the M98B fire at 46 rounds per minute, the L96 fires at 43 rounds per minute. So having a pretty high 54 round per minute rate of fire for a bolt action is just nice for close quarter combat. You feel like you can really put another shot down range if you miss that first shot right away. The M40A5 is also pretty decent for hip firing, and the laser sight is really going to improve that. Now, you can use the laser sight for long range sniping, and it's really a personal preference. The laser sight is going to pinpoint you to targets at long range, so you want to make sure that you can take them out before they're able to return fire on you. It does have the benefit of potentially distracting or dazzling your opponent while you're trying to shoot them down, but I preferred to turn off the laser sight at long range for the most part because I felt it was giving away my position more than it was distracting my enemies and making it harder for them to return shots. Now, if you're in a one-on-one sniper battle at long range and you both know where each other are, then the laser sight might actually come in handy for just trying to distract your opponent just ever so slightly to let you get that your shot off before them or get off a more accurate shot. Now, the actual hip fire comes in at a 4.0 hip spread rating. This is compared to, say, the JNG that has a 5.0 and the M98B that also has a 5.0. The only other bolt-action sniper rifle that has a more accurate hip fire than this one is the SV98. Now, once you turn on that laser sight, it reduces your cone of fire for hip firing down to 2.0, meaning your accuracy is going to be decent. It's not going to be amazing, but it will be able to body shot or headshot from a no-scope stance in a pinch, and it saved my life on a number of occasions, and I know a lot of people love to run around no-scoping people with the laser sight and these bolt-action rifles. It can be done. You just are going to have to get ready to switch to your sidearm as fast as possible if you miss that shot. Now, as for using the 4x ACOG scope on here, I really like this scope. I think it's a great choice for the M40A5, and it makes a lot of sense for multiple reasons. One, if you're going to be using this gun at medium range, you probably don't want to go all out with an 8x scope. 8x scope or 12x scope will be really good at long range, but it's probably a little overkill for medium. On top of that, it's not going to emit scope glint. Any scope that is 4 times zoom or less will not emit any sort of scope glint. As soon as you start going up to 6 times or 8 times or 12 times zoom, you're going to get that big scope glint, and you're going to be easy to spot from across the map. Snipers, guys with assault rifles, anybody will know exactly where you are, and they'll especially know where you are if you're aiming at them. Now, straight pull bolt is pretty much a must on any bolt action sniper rifle. I think it's kind of silly that they give you the option to use it or not use it. You basically want to use straight pull bolt. This will allow you to rechamber around while maintaining your zoom down the scope. Now, you'll notice I do kind of pop out of zoom after a lot of my shots, and this is basically to get a bearing on what I'm aiming at. But sometimes if there's a target that you're chasing or following, you really don't want to lose him by unzooming your scope, so you can still reload the rifle while aiming down sights a lot of the time. And I'm very used to pulling back my aim. You'll notice here I rarely do it, but still the straight pull bolt will allow you to start reloading the gun just as fast as possible. You don't have to wait to unzoom from your aiming down sights to start that reload, so it's just going to help you maximize your rate of fire with any bolt action sniper rifle. Now, if I were going to change anything about this setup, I might actually switch it to the PKA 3.4 times scope. It's not that I don't like 4 times magnification. I think I actually prefer it over 3.4 times magnification, but the PKA takes up so little of the screen that you basically just have a tiny little circle around the zoom in portion. The ACOG actually takes up quite a bit of the screen with the dials and the metal going around the glass on there, and it can make you sometimes lose your targets. If there's a target hidden behind some of that metal and you're aiming at an area, you sometimes won't even notice that guy. I just like to have my screen as open as possible, and that's where I prefer the PKA a little bit more than the ACOG. Is the M40A5 my ideal sniper rifle? No, I can't say I'm an elite enough sniper to really be that good in medium range. So when I'm looking for a bolt action sniper rifle, I want something that's going to draw people at long range, no problem. And that's where the M98B is always king for me because of the bullet velocity on that rifle. 650 meters per second, higher than any other bolt action sniper rifle out there. You really don't have to lead with your shots too much. It's awesome for dropping people at long range. It doesn't have a very big magazine. It's a slower rate of fire, takes longer to reload, but all in all, I like having a bolt action that's a little bit better for long range, because when I snipe, I need that distance between me and my target. Otherwise, I'm probably not going to be able to drop them in the amount of time that it takes just at those medium range distances. Medium range, anybody with an assault rifle can down you just about as fast as you can down them, so you really got to be on your game with these bolt actions. And I'll admit, I'm just not quite where I would want to be with a bolt action sniper rifle to really take full advantage of the M40A5. So that wraps it up for this episode of Loadout. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to leave your kit recommendations in the comments section, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.